Hey guys, welcome back to Real Talk. This is Zach. Today I'm joined by my right hand to my left hand, Solo.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And a brand new guest joining us today for the first time, Jad.
Yo.
Yo guys, before we get into whatever we're going to talk about today, I just want to remind you guys listening out there, please leave a comment down below, like the video if you enjoy what you hear, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into our topic, boys. Something a bit different, haven't done it yet. Talked about NBA and EPL and soccer and all that kind of stuff.
And everything, yeah.
Everything else.
Badminton.
Well, this is part of the everything part. Let's talk about some wrestling. Yeah?
Wrestling.
Let's do it. All right, now before we get into it, I think the viewers deserve to know why they should listen to us and why we're so-called experts, right? Solomon, tell us why we should listen to you, man.
Look, man, I've followed this product for over 20 years. That's right, since I was 7. I touched Mick Foley once. I watched Eddie Guerrero
I watched him.
live in person.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've been to many events of all promotions. So, yeah, I really love this product, to be honest.
Pretty tapped into it for a long time, huh?
Yeah, man, you never get off it. Like, you probably thought when we were kids we'd get off it, but I'm still watching.
Nice. Jad?
Pretty much the same, man. I've been watching it since I was like 11, and then it kind of developed when NXT kind of came into the picture. Checking out other promotions and stuff like that. It's always been something that interested me. So yeah, I never really grew out of love with it.
Perfect, boys. Let's just get straight into it.
What about you, Zach?
Me, look, I've been following the product for a long time as well. I can't really put years on it, but I remember just being a fan of the Attitude Era, seeing all those guys develop. And for me, the biggest, I guess, turning point to being a proper full-time regular fan was, John Cena's Thugonomics days, the Chain Gang, all that kind of stuff, when he used to come out, that was it. I was in love with John Cena and everything he was and everything he stood for and everything. And
now he sucks.
Now he changed. He changed a lot, He became a company guy and everything changed with it. I wouldn't say I'm as regular now as I was before. Obviously, a few things happened in the WWE that sort of turned me away. A few things, starting with Roman, ending with Reigns. And, ever since then, I've sort of, turned away a bit. I was a bit sick of the product. I thought it was just same old. I have to say, but much more recently, given what AEW is putting out, even seeing what NXT is putting out, I have sort of come back.
Different options.
It is. And I won't say I'm a regular. I'm definitely a casual. I do know what I'm talking about. But I'll definitely say I'm a casual. So you'll notice that as I speak today. But look, let's get into it.
Yep.
Big news for the past week, 2 weeks, right? For some of us, I knew ages ago. But the big news, right? Mr. CM Punk, after 6 years of being away, after the fans crying of CM Punk, chanting his name, has finally come back to our TVs.
Hell froze over, man.
Hell froze over.
Yeah, kind of.
Give me your thoughts, boys. Initial reactions when you first heard the news, when you first saw him, right? How did you guys feel?
Well, I've been hearing it for a few months that he might come back. Like, I know what you're talking about. We heard that he did an audition.
That's right.
For Fox.
Mm-hmm.
We all heard that. But
Yeah.
my thing is, you did not predict when he was going to come back. When he came back the way he came back, that was a shock. Because we all automatically thought, if he's going to come back to an event. He's going to come back to a Raw, a SmackDown, or a pay-per-view.
That's right.
So the way they did it was shocking, and then the fallout from that was even more shocking. He hasn't even spoken to anyone in the company. So, yeah, it's a weird dynamic.
He makes it very evident. He keeps saying that. I haven't spoken to anyone. No one's contacted.
He's
all about Fox. It's all a Fox thing.
Yeah, he's been signed by Fox. It's like the
Mm.
analysts for other sports in America, NFL, NBA. They get signed by the TV broadcaster.
Not the organization.
Not
yeah.
the organization. So this is pretty much the way they're going with it. And he wants to make that clear.
Very clear.
And, yeah, man, I'm very happy he's back. I'm just gonna say, but just off that one ep as well on what he said about certain superstars and the product.
It's perfect,
mate. He just pretty much summarized everything we've been complaining about for 6 years. Yeah, I'm very happy.
You can't look away when he's talking. You just, I don't know if it's his voice or whatever it is, but you sort of get mesmerized. You just want to sit there and keep listening.
Everything he says is convincing. The way he goes about like any kind of promo, any kind of angle, it has this feeling of realism to it. So when he talks, he's not, or he doesn't follow that same way of cutting a promo or talking that all other wrestlers do, that over the top kind of cartoonish sounding stuff. So it resonates when people listen to him talk. He's a voice of the voiceless and all that, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Initially, but when he, like I said, I sort of had an inkling he was coming back. I know you don't believe me. I know no one believes me yet, but I saw some of the podcasts that he was on. They asked him to his face, "What's going on?" He said, "Yeah, I auditioned for Superstars or whatever it was." So I wasn't as shocked, but I knew it was coming in a way. I knew that, all right, one of these days I'm gonna see CM Punk on my screen, Superstars or whatever.
You were convinced he was gonna come back.
Yeah, because he said.
No, I'm talking about before he said that, but
Before he said what? Sorry.
before he mentioned that he was gonna come back. Like, did you think he was gonna come back, but? Or
I thought so. Yeah, I thought eventually.
I did.
Yeah, eventually he'd come back. I felt like eventually he'd run out of things to do.
Jad didn't think he might.
You didn't think so?
there were some AEW rumors,
Hmm.
and apparently they sent him a text or
Yeah.
something like that, and like they didn't really manage it very well, and he found it kind of unprofessional. There was some back and forth between him and Cody as to like what actually.
I think Cody denied it. He goes, "No, we never sent a text. Nothing."
Well,
Yeah.
I think he said no. Yes, there was a text message. He goes, but there was also meetings and there was also other things and stuff like that. But
I'm
tell,
talking about before that. Did you think you didn't think he was gonna come back?
Look,
eh?
the thing is with this guy, he's said on multiple occasions that he's lost his passion for wrestling and he doesn't watch the product and he doesn't care. He's like, he killed his passion. And at no point did he say it would, he'd return. He always said, I'm not going to rule it out just in case. He doesn't want to come off as a hypocrite. But he said his passion died and it randomly came back. And that's the thing that I find really like bizarre about him coming back in this, and to analyze something that he supposedly doesn't even care about. So yeah,
Bro, I think it was. I told you before. I thought it was all talk, all that talk. Like, oh, I don't care. He's at the UFC. He doesn't want to be associated with it, bro. But deep down, his wife was still wrestling, when he left.
For a year.
So he's still watching. He's still, you know what I mean? Like, and even though he even commented about Kofi when he won, didn't he?
He did.
Bro, he's a lawyer. In that sense, like, he's always cared about the product. But I know what you're talking about in terms of like he didn't want to seem like a hypocrite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the end, maybe he's.
Yeah, possibly. But I got my theories, man.
Oh yeah, no, we'll come up.
Yeah.
Just before. I think it wasn't. I agree with the passion thing. Look, it's like you love eating sausages, right? Until you see how it gets made, and then all of a sudden, it's like,
It's a nice analogy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think like he loved wrestling. It was his life. It was his passion. He got into it. He enjoyed it, and then he saw behind the scenes how things work, and good on him for trying to change it. Trying to get his money also at the same time and trying to get some recognition, which he got. But then he just sort of he fell out of love with it.
No, but the thing is, he only fell out of love with it because he became something. He became the main guy, and he still got treated like shit. In terms of, he didn't get treated like Cena. He didn't get treated like The Rock. You know what I mean? So that's what pissed him off. Mm-hmm. He never main evented, like as if he did a main event.
No, what I'm talking about, we was talking about him coming back, yeah. That part. I'm saying.
But they treated him like shit. Yeah,
they did treat him like shit, and I think when he left initially and he said, "I'm done." Never say never, but I'm done. Whatever. I think he meant it. I think he actually thought to himself, "That's it."
Yeah, no.
Because he felt so hard done by pretty much. So he's like, "I don't want to come back to this ever again," But naturally what happens is you grow up in life, you go through experiences, you go through different things. You know what I thought 5 years ago about a certain something, your ideologies they change as time goes on. Yeah. I think that's what happened with him now, and the biggest ideology I think is money. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, money talks. Yeah. Money talks, man. And he's been in that thing now. He went UFC, he tried that, wasn't very good. He's been in movies, comic books, you name it, he's done it. And yeah, at the end of the day, money spoke to him, and they gave him the right thing. He said it right in the interview. I get to come back, I get to criticize the product, which I love doing, and I get to get paid for it. And I have to step in the ring. I'd have to go to those crazy dates.
And they can't do anything.
They can't do anything.
WWE can't do anything about it, bro, because Fox runs the joint.
That's right. So I think that's it was the perfect thing for him to come back to the game. If we're talking about if this didn't exist, and he came back to wrestling, right?
Mhm.
I'd be like, that doesn't make sense. I'm with you there, right? You didn't love it, you left it, all that kind of stuff, and now you're back
Yeah.
at that same song and dance, right?
Yeah.
But this is the perfect way for him to be back without actually being back.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He doesn't come off as a hypocrite in this way.
Yeah,
Because
well,
That's
he
right.
kept his word. He never went back to
he kept
WWE.
it, he's not in business with them. He's in business with Fox.
Not at the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah, not at the moment.
What's his theories, man?
Okay, so number one, I think he's gonna act as like the fourth estate in this scenario. So he's gonna. I think he has the potential to come in. He's not signed by the WWE. He's signed by Fox. So this is like a loophole. He can now say whatever he needs to say, and possibly even change the product, kind of like the way he did in 2011 with the pipe bombs. But he's off. He's now off the leash. He can say whatever he wants, and if all the controversial negative things he says is gaining viewers and it's like gaining attention, Fox isn't going to want to get rid of him, and WWE might, they might not be happy with that, but they can either get him in trouble and get rid of him. I think this could go very sour, or they have to kind of change. Because people are going to look at him analysing this stuff and being negative about everything. He's already started this week. I saw a thing where he was talking about the Roman Reigns mascot segment on SmackDown where a dog came out, and it was just this goofy, stupid, like Vince's attempt at humour. And he ripped it. He said, "This is absolute garbage." And it is. It was garbage.
But that's the thing about the guy, bro. Like, he's come in and he set the he set everything into like he summarized everything that we've been talking about, we've been yelling about, we've been angry about with the product.
Yeah.
And the flip side is he made them relevant again. Like WWE, because everyone's been off them. They've tried so hard to make it like just make the product like appeal to the fans again, but no one's buying it.
Mm-hmm.
But now Punk's back, like that. He's brought him back to relevancy. What did you say? They tripled the the amount of people that watched backstage.
Yeah.
Tripled the amount. That's ridiculous. And now people are looking forward to it now. You know what I mean? They're looking forward to seeing maybe how bad the product is, and then seeing what CM Punk's going to say about it.
Well, on that topic, right? Sorry, I know you have more theories. We'll get to the other ones after that. But it's important it's interesting what you say. Sorry, how does WWE feel now about this, right? Because we know Fox has taken over SmackDown. That's Fox. It's all Fox, whatever it is. But how much input does WWE actually have when it comes to their product on Fox? Is it all Fox? Is it split like it used to be? Is it WWE is still there, but Fox is just sort of the pup in the back? Like, do we know what the split is? Do we know if they have any sort of say in what goes on
Creatively?
Let's
altogether?
not creatively right now. Let's just say, like, for example, with backstage, right?
Yeah.
Is there any say from WWE's end as to what is said or how it's put forward?
I'm not too sure. I'm not sure how that relationship how it works or what the deal is.
Because if it isn't like you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Then if I'm a WWE, if I'm Vince or if I'm Triple H or whatever, I'm not happy with my product being dissed live on air.
But the thing
constantly.
but the thing is, no one's watching it, and Fox is paying money. Fox paid how much did they pay for?
No one's watching what?
SmackDown?
Sorry.
No one's watching backstage.
Backstage.
and they're probably not hitting the targets for SmackDown as well.
I think they're hitting about 2.1 million, but that's
not what they want. They want more than that.
They wanted to get it back to 4.
So when a broadcaster pays that much for the block, how much do they pay? Like a lot.
It's in the billions. Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man.
Billions,
like WWE has to put out a good product, whether they like. That's their job. And if they're not doing their job, then Fox is going to threaten to pull out, and they can't afford that WWE right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, CM Punk brings viewers. He brings a shitload of viewers.
Definitely.
He's gonna give Fox a spike. Whether he gives WWE a spike is another thing. You know what I mean?
So does this move by WWE not going to Fox, but Fox taking over in that sense, does it smell of desperation in a way? They needed it. They needed Fox to come in, otherwise, they're in trouble.
It's not really that they needed it. I think Fox needed them to fill a certain day because I mean, that's what I've read about in terms of they've got like they've got NFL, they've got local NBA broadcasting, and they've got, I can't remember what the other sport was, maybe golf, I don't know, but there was always a blank in Fox, that main Fox channel on like Friday night, and they needed to fill, and it just worked. It was perfect for them. So WWE is not going to say no to billions of dollars.
No.
So you know what I mean. So I mean, it's as much as like you said, as much as maybe WWE are desperate, you know, to maybe move up or, you know, trying to step up to maybe the AEW threat. I don't know, but Fox needed to feel something.
The reason why I ask is it's important who has the power, like who has the power in this relationship, because we're talking about CM Punk now, right, and what he's saying, and the saying, any publicity is good publicity, right? But not always. If you have one of your own guys dissing your own product that's out there every single week, and people are listening, casual fans and regular fans alike, if WWE doesn't need Fox in that sense, and Fox came to them, and this is Fox's show, then WWE can say, look, we don't want this guy on, or if he's on there, he can't talk the way he's talking. Do you get me? But if it's the other way, then then WWE can't be happy with literally just sitting there and taking this every single week. Do you know? So that's what I'm saying. You know, you talk about who buckles first. You know, who gives first.
I think WWE, because Fox, the sense I get is that they're now like owned. You know what I mean? It's like they're not in control of their own stuff now, because they're like,
who, WWE?
Yeah. I just feel like Fox, like they're bowing to Fox. That's what it feels
even
like.
Even like YouTube channels, it's not a WWE channel anymore. It's the WWE on Fox.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So they've really separated everything.
Yeah, big time. Even the SmackDown shirts this year for Survivor Series, they've got a big Fox logo right on the back. I've never seen that in wrestling before.
Yeah,
like where they really talk about the network that they're on, or the channel they're on. This, in this fashion, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward. Theory number 2.
All right. Theory number 2 is, I reckon WWE tried to get a step up on Punk by making this Corey Graves podcast, because I've been listening to this Corey Graves podcast, and he's trashing the product too.
Smells like Punk.
It feels like Punk. It's another tattooed guy that's got his own opinions, really well spoken, that's getting on a WWE managed, podcast, and he's being really open and honest, trashing certain segments that aren't that great. And I feel like they tried to kind of be like, okay, this is our guy that we control, and we'll let him talk. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a variety show, and there are certain segments that people aren't going to gravitate to. But sometimes stuff can be that garbage that any publicity is good publicity. The Rusev storyline, absolute trash in my opinion.
It makes me really uncomfortable.
Me too.
I can't watch it.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's that. It reminds me of that stuff that when I was younger, a segment would be on, and I'd have someone over my house, and I'd be like embarrassed that I'm watching.
Exactly.
This,
like your parents would walk in exactly at that moment.
Always, every single time.
Always.
And it's just that embarrassing, like Jerry Springer style, stupid, like trash. But it's been spoken about so much on in the wrestling community. Everyone's like, this storyline's so trash, this storyline's so this and that, but it's like almost like polarizing, because everyone's got their opinion about it. We weren't speaking this much about Rusev and Bobby Lashley a few weeks ago, but now we are, for the wrong reasons.
Because it's that crap, like.
But it's that shit, what I mean? and Corey's been trashing it every single week.
Yeah.
Even Bobby Lashley said the same thing. I don't know if you saw a recent interview with him. He said, you could see even him talking about it, he feels uncomfortable, but he's playing along as that heel, saying, that's what I do and this and that. Yeah. But then, at the end of the day, he goes, look, I stopped caring a long time ago. If they have my name in their mouth, that's all I care about. Yeah. So
but you know what you're saying about all publicity is not good publicity. I don't think WWE gives a crap right now. As in, because of AEW. That's
what Jad's saying. It's just about getting the name out there.
That's exactly right. So they're big enough to control their own narrative in however way, shape or form they have to do it, without worrying about Punk and Fox and all that. You can't just appear clueless and say, the product's great every single time. This is gonna benefit WWE, because people are gonna be like, oh wow, they've got two viewpoints. Like, they're realistic. They get what we're saying from Punk's end, and then when it's good, you're gonna hear them, advertise the hell out of it from WWE side. So, look, as long as people are talking about it, I think Vince is happy.
And that's what you're saying is Corey Graves' job pretty much.
Yeah.
Is to be the
It's a good
side.
theory.
Yeah,
It's a good.
yeah.
It's a good theory.
Didn't Triple H dub this era the reality era?
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
a
some,
few years
some
ago.
point, yeah.
All right, theory number 3. Is there a number 3?
No, I just think Corey.
No.
They're using Corey to get a step ahead of Punk,
Mhm.
to be like, hey, look, we got our guy talking, negative as well.
Mhm.
Like we're not lawyers. We admit when something's not good, and the other part is I just think Punk is either this relationship's either going to sour and they're going to try and get rid of him,
Mhm.
or they're going to have to change for the better, because he's just going to keep trashing.
Well, since you bring that up, right? What's the immediate impact then?
Mm.
What happens? How does this affect the product right now? We already see Seth Rollins reaching out, tweeting Punk, fight me, whatever it is, right? so they know he's here. They know what he's saying. They can hear him. So what impact, if any, does this have on the current, not only WWE product, but even the promotions around WWE? The competitors.
I think this might be their way of enticing him. Goldberg and Sting came back, I believe, through a video game commercial.
Yeah, 2K. Yeah.
And then they started to have conversations with him. They'd chuck Paul Heyman at them. And
They saw people talking about it.
Yeah,
and they were interested.
and that they probably saw that their commercials were well received. They started to get that, that catch the bug again.
Itch.
Hey, get the itch, and then it's like, all right, how about you do something at SummerSlam? How about you do something at Mania? And they got the money now. They got the Fox money now. So let's see. Punk has been very consistent in saying that I do not want to wrestle. And he even, I saw a podcast where they asked him, what's your minimum asking price? He said, listen, 20 million or 25 million. He goes, honestly, we're not even having a conversation.
Yeah, pay what you, I think we said pay what you paid them. And by them, he's talking about Dwayne and, The Rock and all those guys.
Yeah,
and stuff.
He sees himself as a star.
Yeah, it goes back to the disrespect of him back in the day. Like, he made them relevant.
Yeah.
No one was watching wrestling before that 2011
pipe bomb.
Bro, before that, we were off it. We were off the product, man.
I watched it from when I was 11 years old until about a year before the pipe bomb. I was off it completely for a year.
We watched Mania 27, Miz 1. That was stupid, man.
I wasn't even watching that year, yeah.
The Miz is pretty awesome. I'll give him that.
He's got his
not another one, man.
We've got another Miz fan. He's a great heel. I'll give him that.
No, he is, but man, he sucks as a face.
But the way he's
MJF's better. Let's be honest.
MJF is.
He'll be better.
We'll get to him.
Be better.
Yeah, MJF is very good. Very good at what he does. That pipe bomb is still. I still watch it now. If it's there in my recommended videos or whatever, I'll still turn on and watch it. Even though I know word for word, I know line by line, whatever it is. It was something very, very different. And going forward right now, the impact that it has now, I think it does affect the product now in terms of everyone is now, even like superstars, are turning in to see what he says. Is he going to mention my name? Is he going to say something about what I did or what I said or whatever? And it's almost like a thing of where, you want to get mentioned. You want to see what he has to say.
I mean, he's like him and Brian. They're the two godfathers, say, of indie wrestling. You know what I mean? They're the ones that paved the way for all these indie guys to come through. So they care about what he says and they care about what Brian 100% will say. You know what I mean?
Brian...
No, they do.
They do.
No, what I'm talking about is in the ring.
In the ring.
Because look at when he versed Cole recently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was massive. He's putting these new guys over. It's a big thing. It's a massive gesture from him.
Just going a bit sidetracking a bit.
Yeah.
Has Daniel Bryan lost it a bit? I mean, he's not entertaining anymore.
I won't cop that. No.
No?
I won't cop that. No.
I don't find it very entertaining, man.
Again, it's the way they use him, right? So when he was a heel last year, when he became a heel, he was the best thing to watch in the company. But again, you turn him back into a nice guy. And you got really nothing for him.
But wrestlers hit there, like that WrestleMania moment that he had. That's a peak, bro. How do you that's a retirement match type of peak.
Well, he was a part of another peak, Kofi's peak. He was in that match.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
you know
where do you go after that?
That's how good he is, but that's what I'm trying to explain. He's that good that he he can be a part of the biggest thing. Even though he's not the biggest story, he's a part of that big what do you call it, event.
Let's talk future. What happens in the future with this CM Punk situation? You already mentioned maybe, you know, someone gives, he has to go or whatever.
He'll wrestle. He's gonna wrestle.
I don't think so.
Look, he's not stupid enough to say to people, give people an inkling that he's gonna wrestle. Bro, he wouldn't give up the fact that he cared about wrestling or he was gonna come back. We knew he was deep down inside us. I thought he was gonna come back in some capacity, right? And he's done that in some capacity, not what we think or what we thought, but he's come back in some capacity. Man, it's an option. And he said that never say never, right? Remember on backstage? He said never say never. So if he's given that away, man, he will wrestle. He will wrestle. Maybe not in the near future, but maybe a year from now.
Do you think so, Jed?
If he does, he'll unfortunately be seen as a hypocrite. And I feel like he's very hard-headed. And he's got some heat for doing this, for coming back. I saw Kevin Owens posted a gif of Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, whose catchphrase was what was his catchphrase, Solomon? About the every man has his price.
Yeah,
something like that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And so like he's already starting to get a bit of heat for. I don't know if that's legit from Kev. I think that's Kev trying to G him up for a match, maybe, or trying to get a nice 100%. Payday there.
100%.
But yeah, it just looks like he's contradicting himself if he does get back in the ring. But again, he did cover himself with that never say never.
Bro, like, look.
You know, I hope he comes back.
Every big wrestler in history has contradicted themselves.
Yeah,
that's right.
Do you know what I mean?
The way I sort of see it, right? I compare it to boxing. Yeah. Boxing, as great it was, is not good right now in that sense, right? But there's very few money fights left. There's very few fights left where the most casual of casual fans will say, I need to see who wins this one, right? I feel like WWE is in the same boat, right? There's very few money fights left where now the most oldest casual fan will say, I need to watch this WrestleMania, whatever, because I want to see this person fight. We've seen the Triple H's, we've seen Undertakers. It's been done to death, right?
Done to death.
I feel like he's one of the last guys left. Could be literally him and Cena. You know, him and Rollins, and any of these guys, right? He's that last guy left where money fight could be based around, and you know you're going to cash out big time, you know? And again, like I said, money, everyone has its price, and money talks. And as stubborn as Punk wants to be, or as stubborn as WWE wants to be, when you see the money put in front of you, you know, the hearts turn soft.
Well, he hasn't talked to anyone. He said he hasn't even broken down any barriers with anyone.
Yeah.
So once that'll happen, and he's obviously looks like he's willing to do that. So once that happens, you'd think something's on the cards. But isn't it funny now, the mid to late 2000s wrestlers, like Edge, Cena, Punk, all those guys, like, we want them to come back to verse this current crop, you know what I mean? I don't want to say Ray versus Brock again, bro. Freaking this week. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to say Ray versus freaking, what do you call it? Ricochet, or I want to say him versus what's his name? The boys from AEW, the Lucha Brothers.
No, that'd be crazy, yeah.
Bro, imagine watching that, you know what I mean? That's what I think we want to see. I want to see an Edge versus Rollins.
Yeah.
I want to say Punk versus Roman. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.